Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to talk about the top 3 ways to find off-market deals in your market. And number 3 is probably you haven't really heard of, or you might have, but don't really know how to do it. So we're going to start number 1 with the cheapest version of how to find off-market deals. Driving for dollars. Driving for dollars is definitely one of the oldest ways to find off-market deals before all the software was done. You literally just drive around your neighborhood and you find deals. Obviously there's certain things that you really have to look out for when you look for deals. You don't really want to add every single house to your list because that's not going to work out. So the way you would do it is obviously you would get in your car, your bicycle, you just walk around the streets and you see a house that has tall grass, their mailbox is full, it looks like the boarded up windows, or you can find like notes on their doors or windows that say, hey, you have some kind of code violation, you need to fix it. What that might mean is that someone is not doing something, maybe the house is vacant, maybe somebody that was living there passed away, and now the owners of the estate live in a different state. Another thing to look out for is the blue tarp over the roof. If somebody has blue tarp over the roof, most likely they don't really have the money to fix the roof. And sometimes you might be able to help them by buying their house, especially if they own it free and clear, so they can get that money and actually do something else with it and find another place, a better place to live in. So your job is to find people in distressed situations, obviously. There's also another way of doing driving for dollars. It's called virtual driving for dollars. There are special apps for that now. I had never used them, so I can't really talk about that. But what I have done is I went on Google Maps, and you literally just have the Google Earth or whatever. You drop that yellow guy on the street, and you just walk around the streets, and you can find houses driving for dollars virtually anywhere in the country. It's always a good option to do. Let's say if you're not living in an area that's really hot for real estate, you can still find deals in that area, and there's still buyers for that area. But it might be a little easier to start off where there's a bigger market and that you can, if you find a deal, you can easily sell it. So yeah, there's 2 types of driving for dollars. It's a pretty good way to do it. That's how I started. I started a small list. I think I had like 50 properties. And out of those 50 properties, I called all of them. None of them wanted to sell, but at least I got my kind of feet wet a little bit and understood how it works. It actually is a pretty interesting way to find deals. The good part about this method is that it's actually, a lot of times the properties that you might have added, not everyone saw them. So a lot of people use software nowadays to find off-market deals. Let's give an example. Let's say 1,000 people are trying to find off-market deals in your area. Out of those 1,000 people, let's say probably almost 1,000 of them or 900 of them will be using the software. Let's say that house that you found wasn't actually distressed according to the software. It wasn't marked as pre-foreclosure, it was not marked as vacant, it was not marked as anything else. So you actually know that it's distressed because you can see that it's tall grass, it's not taken care of, has boarded windows, without a lot of other people knowing. So you have an upper hand. So it actually gives you a better chance that the person that's actually going to answer the phone call when you call them are not going to be as irritated because they haven't heard from 1,000 people before you called. So that's the pro part. The con part is that it's very time consuming. And obviously you have to have a car, probably the best way to do it. I mean, if you have a bicycle, probably you could do it too. You can walk around, but that's probably going to take forever. So you still have some kind of means of transportation to walk around or to drive around the neighborhoods and actually find properties. The thing is about that is that you're probably better off actually driving for dollars in person than virtually if you have the ability to, because even the virtually could work out. Let's say they had that blue tarp over the roof and that picture was taken a year ago. A year later, the things might have changed. So they may not have the blue tarp over the roof, or the house might have been sold already. So you not have as updated data as if you saw it in person. All right, number 2, this is the one I use the most. Different online software. So I use PropStream. So obviously PropStream is one of the most popular, probably the most popular software to use to find off-market deals. So there's good things and obviously there's bad things about PropStream. What I love about PropStream is their database overall. The way they can give you access to MLS comparables without actually having MLS. So you can actually find really good comparables. You can actually find pretty much all the information about every single property. Sometimes they give you information how much it was bought for, if it has liens, if the person that's owning the property has bankruptcy, divorce. All that stuff can be found on there, but it's not always 100% accurate information. For example, PropStream will give you an estimated value of a property, and the way they do it is the same thing that Zillow does, the Zestimate, and it's actually not accurate at all. I wouldn't really use that as when you're making offers. yeah, you can kind of understand how much is the values of the house in the area, but it doesn't take in consideration, let's say the house had a pool, or you know, if it's a 2-story house in the places that all the other houses are ranches, you know, all that stuff. It's kind of, you would really have to attack every single property personally. So I would say it's not the best way to use the prop stream estimate value, but overall the software is really good because you can find properties, you can run different lists, and the cool part about this one is that there's so many different options and you can specialize on your type of list. I live in Tampa, right? So I'll go Tampa, Florida, and you press vacant houses. Let's say 10,000 houses showed up, right? Out of those 10,000 houses, you know how many people call those houses and try to get a hold of them and send them postcards? Insane amount, insane amount. Like, you don't, they probably get like 5-10 phone calls a day. So yes, even though that somebody will get those deals, somebody will buy those vacant houses, but it will take someone creative to get that done. So what you have to do is actually specialize and try to do certain type of searches. Let's say they owned it for so many years and they have this percentage of equity. Then let's say they own not only vacant, but they also have a lien, that you can attack that list and spend more of your money and more of your time on that list instead of doing 10,000 houses, because it will probably end up, let's say, 1,000 houses. And that 1,000 houses, you just attack it, you call it, you text it, you mail it, whatever you have to do, you knock on the doors. So you try to get a hold of them, see if they can help, if you can help them out. And so at least it's better to spend your money and your time and your energy in smaller lists than in big lists. If you guys want to check out PropStream, the link is going to be down below. You get a 7-day free trial if you want to try it out. And that's how I started. I used 7-day free, and then after I liked it, I liked the system, I liked how it works, I understood the system, I was like, okay, I'll get it. I think it's $99 a month to have it. Absolutely worth the money, absolutely worth the investment. So if you guys want to check it out, like I said, down below. And please leave a like to this video if you're enjoying it. We're about to get in my new favorite method, how to do this. Alright, so number 3. So I've heard before that you can pull lists, and you can pull lists from like List Automator and whatever, there's other websites. It's not like PropStream, because you're actually, in PropStream you have to buy the software, and then from the software you can pull whatever list you want within that month, and you know, it gives you 10,000 properties a month. With List Automator, for example, you just put in what kind of list do you want to pull, what county, what city, what state, whatever, and then that gives you those kind of properties. And it's not like a full software that you can run comparables and stuff like that. What you also can do is actually go to your county directly. Every county has this. Every county has a tax lien list. So what I did is that I found tax lien list of 2019 and 2020 houses. I decided to try out just a couple years because I know it's going to be a lot of properties. So for 2019, 2020, they gave me a list. I had to take out a lot of stuff out of there because they literally just combine and give you a list of a bunch of properties. So I think they gave me a list of like 40,000 properties or something, but not all of them can work for you. There's like weird properties. There's like restaurants, and then there's like other stuff that you may not really want to wholesale. I mean, you can, I guess, but I wouldn't say that's what you're looking for. What you're looking for is single family houses, multifamily, vacant lots, mobile homes. And that's probably your best bet where to go for. And all those 4 combined out of that list probably was about 20,000 properties. So I went through them, I took all the LLCs out because LLC is a little bit complicated, because a lot of times when the LLC owns it, they kind of know the value of the property and they know you're probably a wholesaler and all that stuff. So I kind of don't want to deal with that. Yes, you still can. There's still possibility of wholesaling with LLC properties, but I just go for individuals because it's much easier to deal with that. So yeah, so for you to get the list, what you have to do is call the county. I called the tax collector office and I said, hey, I need to get a tax lien list from you. How do I do it? They say, okay, so what you have to do is they send me an email with explanation, which says I have to send a $25 check to the county. So I had to get checks, I sent it to them, and then a couple days later they email you back the list with all the property. The list is in an Excel file, so after that it's up to you how you want to deal with it. They give you the explanation what property is what. They have this thing called DOR codes, and every code states for a different kind of property. Let's say mobile homes, vacant land, all that stuff, so there's different code for everything. It's not as bad to find it. And then after that you have to sort it through, and for example, even then, I still use PropStream after that. So the PropStream has this thing called List Automator. If you pay an extra $50 a month, or you can actually upload lists that you own from anywhere else into PropStream, and the PropStream will pull all the information based on that list. I really do enjoy this feature. So about 15,000 properties, I uploaded them, and now I can literally have them in one database. I don't have to go looking on the Excel file, and I click on the property, I can get all the information about the properties, and it's super comfortable and it really makes sense. So I went through that uploading process. Like I said, in this situation, it only cost me $25 to get like 20,000 leads. But if you wanted to kind of make it more usable, I would say use PropStream for that as well. Like I said, it costs $50 for a list automator a month, and then after that you can upload it there and go from there. So it takes a little while to get this list because you have to get information from the county, get the check, send it to them over mail. When they receive it, they get back to you. I would say it took me about 5 days all in to get the list. So it's a little longer time than I would normally like. And it also is a kind of I had to take my time to do the data entry. You know, I do everything myself. Copy paste from this place. I kind of change everything up in the Excel files. So it's a little bit of work. So it took a little bit of time. But for $25, I got 15,000, 20,000 leads, something like that. And I already kind of just started texting them. And I would tell you this, within the first 500 texts, the people are actually not irritated. And for a market I'm in, it's kind of surprising. I'm in Florida, and Florida is super hot for real estate. So there's so many wholesalers, there's so many investors that actually the owners are really irritated because, you know, there's so many people call and text them. So that's the best part about this list. A lot of people don't know how to get it, they don't know how to deal with it, they don't want to deal with it. And the crazy part is, when I uploaded that list to PropStream, out of like 15,000 properties, maybe only 1,000 of them matched tax lien information that PropStream had. So let's say only 1,000 of those properties actually known to people that only use PropStream to get off market deals with liens. So that other 14,000 are not as irritated. They're probably someone texted or called them, because I'm not the only person that does this, but they're not as irritated. So what I realized is that you can't have one way of finding off-market deals. Drive around, use PropStream, and use your county to find the deals. The more methods you have and the more creative you get, the better chance that you can find a good deal. I've also been exploring with different texting platforms that actually have been working out for me better, different skip tracing platforms. I've been getting better results than I have ever been before. So all that kind of stuff is actually really interesting, and I say just experiment and try different things, because if you do it the same way that everyone else is doing, you have less chance of finding a deal. So you really have to get creative to actually find a deal, especially in the hot markets. But anyway guys, I appreciate you tuning into this video. Please subscribe if you enjoy the channel, comment down below if you have any other questions, and as always guys,